you Resolution 2017-18-15, Day of the Teacher. So we're asking that the board recognize May 9th, 2018 as the California Day of the Teacher. Day of the Teacher arose out of legislation co-sponsored by the California Teachers Association and the Association of Mexican American Educators. Senator Joseph Montoya wrote the bill and it was adopted in 1982. California has patterned its celebration after the traditional Dia de Maestro festivities observed in Mexico and other Latin American countries. So we're asking that the board vote to declare May 9th California Day of the Teacher.
Questions? Comments from the public?
I'll do one.
There's a question in the back.
Sorry.
Oh, it's a thumbs up.
Oh, thumbs up.
Silent thumbs up.
One comment, please.
Hi, West Salinas resident, community enthusiast at large, former substitute teacher. The Day of the Teacher thing is pretty cool, but it feels like words after going through what just happened here, and then talking about giving 17 million, all this budgeting and shuffling. I think as board members, you have a capacity to actually start attacking the people higher up rather than trying to suppress the people below you. And that's the kind of voice you need working toward. The joke, well, there's just not enough money, and I can't remember it now, but it just seemed a little put-offing because it's like we should be caring about our teachers a lot more than just in words and a resolution. It's an impact of money, and yes, the caring profession is disappointingly not given its worth, and that's where it looks to, you have a voice, you're already elected officials. We make a joke about the elected officials, we got to go to that, and it's like, but you are it, and should be going and being more proactive rather than just, well, it's just too bad. Take a pay cut or take very little, and it just feels like this is more words than impact of showing.
Many years ago, when resolutions came out, the board would read the resolutions and you would vote. And now that the agenda is different, most people don't see the attachments, don't see the resolution unless they go on the website and click on that PDF, et cetera, et cetera. So I think in respect of the teachers and in respect of the classified, I think it would only take a moment for you to read the words so that we can know that you see them. Thank you.
Sure.
It's really powerful. It's nice to hear.
Resolution 2017-18-15, California Day of the Teacher, May 9th, 2018. Whereas teachers personify our society's belief that universal public education is the key to meeting the challenges of a changing world, and whereas teachers strive to make every classroom an exciting environment where productive and useful learning can take place, and each student is encouraged to grow and develop, and whereas teachers reach out to foster the well-being of each student regardless of ability, social or economic background, race, or ethnic origin or religion, and whereas teachers motivate individual students to find new directions in life and reach high levels of achievement. Now therefore be it resolved that the Salinas City Elementary School District Governing Board of Education does hereby urge all citizens and schools to observe May 9, 2018 as California Day of the Teacher by taking time to remember and salute the teachers who mold and educate our children, impact and enrich our lives, and thereby are critical to the constant transformation of our society.
Here, nothing more. Okay.
Thank you.
I'll move adoption of resolution 2017-18-15.
I'll second.
We have a roll call.
President Kim,
Aye.
Vice President Lynch,
Aye.
Member Estrada, Trustee Garcia, Trustee Hoffman.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Thank you very much.
Okay, my name is Joe Sanchez. I'm the chapter president 149. I represent the bus drivers, secretaries, instructional aides, custodians, support staff. Again, we are here to talk to the school board regarding negotiations and them to know that staff here in the district are worth they are worth it. Okay?
Right on, right on.
We're gonna start out a little bit right now. We're gonna start out, so bring it in over here, guys. Let's get together right now. Okay, let's start out by Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people won't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people won't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people won't stop. Say what? We are worth it. We are worth it. We are worth it. Everybody. We are worth it. 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 What do we want? We are worth it. Respect. What do we want? Contract. What do we want? Now. What do we want? Contract. When do we want it? Now. Contract. Contract. What do we want? Contract. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Contract. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Contract. When do we want it? Now. Can we do it? Yes, we can. 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 Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people won't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people won't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people won't stop. Say what? Yeah. Woo! You ready? Yeah. Are you ready to fight? Yeah. All right, that's what we want to hear. Si se puede.
Okay, no.
¡Sí se puede! 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 Anything else you guys want to shout, just let me know. We are worth it! 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 What do we want? Contract! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Contract! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Contract! When do we want it? Now! Can we do it? Yes! Can we do it? Yes, we can! Can we do it? Yes, we can! Can we do it? Yes, we can! Sí se puede! 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 Se ve, se siente, la unión está presente. 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 Otherwise you're going to get in the face.
Hello, everybody ready?
Ready? Yeah.
I'm Brian from CSA. Thank you all for being here. Just a minute after me, Joe Sanchez, the president of the chapter, is going to be talking to you. And then we're going to head over, all of us together, over, and as many of us as can fit in the boardroom, we're going to go into the boardroom, okay? And those who can't fit, we're all going to march down the corner there and let everybody see what we're doing, okay? Okay?
When we take the signs in, we have to pull them down.
Right. So, for those of you who don't know, when we go in with the signs, you kind of have to keep them. You can't flood them in the air and you're disturbing everything, okay? We're going to keep them down, okay? Thank you.
Okay.
Closer.
You hear me? Yeah. No?
Yeah.
First of all, I'd like to say
thank you to all the CSA members and the teachers. And tonight we are here to let the board members know how we feel about negotiations, okay? Again, thank you CSCA members for being here. I also want to thank our CSA members from labor chapters for being here to support us. King City, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We are family.
Oh, MCOE and the chapter president, Juanita.
MUSD, got it?
And Monterey School District, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, and Salinas, thank you. Really appreciate it for the support. Again, our message to the Board of Education is we are worth it. You are worth it. Thank you all again. We're going to be ready to go down to Thank you.
You got another one that says I gotta be away. Negotiate contract, negotiate contract, negotiate contract.
One more thing, everybody. I love how everybody's getting loud out here. When we do go into the boardroom, that's the time to let our speakers say their piece and for all of us to be respectful and listen. Who really wants to get loud? We're going to be doing that out there for the whole city to hear us, okay? So we understand when we go in, we're going to keep the signs down. We're going to be respectful. We're going to let everybody do their business. Everybody else who can't do that, that's fine. I love it. You're going to go down around the corner with people who are marching, okay? Thank you.
All right, guys, group photo. Ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Let me get one for my phone so I can post this.
Who's worth it?
We are!
1, 2, 3. Good job, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Hey, Joe, how you doing?
Good evening, board and guests. I'm here to invite you to our CSCA Classified Week dinner dance that will be in May 19th, 2018 at the Breakfast Hall. And we'll be recognizing our Member of the Years and our retirees that time. Hope you guys can make it. Thank you.
We need to RSVP or what was we need to let you
Yes.
know? RSVP?
RSVP, yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for the invitation.
Hello, Oscar Ramos, SCTC President. I'd like to start off by thanking SCTC for giving me a wonderful CSCA t-shirt. Thank you very much. And I will wear it proudly. So I have one thing only I need to report. Last month I said I would report on a SPED survey that we were conducting, or we were going to. So last week we sent out a SPED survey to all the school sites. Teachers were given only 4 days to fill out the survey. It was a 4-day week. Today the surveys were collected and the information was compiled. There were a couple of setbacks though. The surveys at one of the school sites went missing, and the teachers at another site were only given 1 day to fill out the survey because their school site representative was out for the week. But despite those setbacks, we were able to collect nearly 300 surveys. The exact number actually was 296. So I won't go over all the results. There are many things on the agenda we need to get to, but I will address 2 of those questions. And the one that we've been holding back on because we've met a couple of times throughout the year to see if we can work something out, come to some sort of resolution was what we had on question 14 of the survey, which was vote of no confidence for the Director of Special Education, Dr. Jen Hamilton. So I'd like to report on that. So out of the 296 surveys returned, 70% of the respondents gave her a vote of no confidence. 13% of the respondents gave her a vote of confidence. Now, that was 17% who did not respond, but they did respond with a comment. They were very easy, straightforward comments. I don't know who the director is.
I'm sorry, Mr. Ramos. I'm having a very difficult time understanding what you're saying.
It's very hard.
I can only hear like every third word. Is it proper for us to ask him to move down or to turn down a little bit or something? It's very distracting. I don't know if we can run a meeting this way.
I can hear him.
I can hear him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I think what's most important is for the public to understand is that this is the board's meeting, so the board needs to be able to hear. And that, we need to be able, they need to be able to hear what is being said, and that's most important.
I'll speak up a little louder, but not
you know what, it's not that I don't hear your voice, it's just your voice is competing with other things, and so it's hard for me to process what you're saying.
I didn't get a word.
hearing-
Can you start again? I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Yes. So, cliff notes. Last week was a 4-day week, so we did a survey with only 4 days, giving the teachers 4 days to fill out the survey. We had ran into some problems. For example, one school site, the surveys went missing on the second day. And another site, the site rep was absent for the week, so they only got 1 day to fill out the survey. But despite those two obstacles, we were still able to get about 300 surveys back, 296 exactly. So keep that number in mind, because out of 296 surveys, 70% of the people who responded, 70% gave Dr. Janet Hamilton a vote of no confidence. 13% of the 296 respondents gave her a vote of confidence. And 17% did not reply, but they did make a comment as to why they didn't reply. They were very easy, straightforward comments like, I don't know who the director is. Who is the director? I don't know this person. I know who she is, but I've never interacted with her. I only saw her during a staff meeting. Don't know her enough to answer this question. So even though they didn't answer the question, their comments present a problem. She's been here several years. People should know her. That was the main question I wanted to present to you guys. There was one other question that I will mention, because it's part of what's being negotiated, or actually it's being voted on this week. It's the co-teaching. Surprisingly, 52% of the respondents said that if there was an effective plan, they would be interested in learning more about inclusion, mainstreaming, and co-teaching. Every site had teachers respond positively to that question. They want to do it, but it was a missed opportunity. It wasn't taken advantage of by our SPED director. So every site had teachers willing to look into possibly doing co-teaching, but they cited lack of leadership, breakdown in communication, uninspiring leadership, failure to outline the program's vision, not being invited to trainings, or any training at all, unprepared and unmotivating leadership. So the SPED director failed in capitalizing on this opportunity and willingness of the teachers to participate. We've been talking about co-teaching since the beginning of the school year, possibly longer, maybe the summer. We've asked a million questions and gotten very few answers. It's actually, I have to give credit to our negotiations team, because a lot of the language, I believe, was from our negotiations team. We've asked more specifics and have gotten nothing in return. So this is a major part of what we've been negotiating, and teachers are voting for it this week. So, There was a few people who supported Dr. Hamilton, stating that she should be given a chance to prove herself. And I believe we have given her a chance, several chances in fact. She's had multiple years to make some adjustments. SATC met twice with Dr. Chidas and once with Dr. Hamilton and Mrs. Sanders. From the amount of SPED staff that has chosen to leave, resign, not come back, retire early, or for other reasons, you can see that things are only getting worse. I understand that she is good at what she is supposed to do, but it takes more than knowledge of a program or department to truly be great. Anyone with the right credentials can do the same. That's what they train for. One needs a set of other skills to make a department run smoothly, effectively, and productively. One needs leadership skills, social skills, motivational skills. One needs to be inspiring and lead by example. One needs to be supportive and comforting as well. You can't learn that by just receiving a degree. It's in you, and some people have it, and some people simply don't. So SATC urges the board and the district leadership to take this vote of no confidence for Special Education Director Dr. Jen Hamilton extremely serious. We feel there is someone out there that will bring everyone together and who will lead by example. You will be provided the results of every question, along with must be a little bit over 100 comments the teachers provided. Unfortunately, I only had one day to look at some of the results, but the rest you will receive.
Hello, my name is Rosie Sanchez. Thank you, Mr. Phillips, for this report. Certainly this type of report would be a good session for certificated and classified to get together and be able to really get a hold of this and be able to ask questions. So a few comments that I would like to say and clarification. Mrs. Martinez, you mentioned that previously or last year bonuses were given out, and for clarification, bonuses were given out, but they were not given out to classified. They were given out to teachers. And not that they didn't deserve it, but I just wanted to clarify that they're classified, unless there's classified in here that got bonuses, I'm not aware of that. Another thing I wanted to mention, I know that budget assumptions are based on information that were provided, and based on the budgets that we were provided or that we had access through the internet, we met with the district to have some questions answered, and one of the questions was there was a placing of $5 million on a line item for a PERS budget line, and the response from the district was that it was discretionary money for the board to spend, and they probably could give us a 2% raise. And then after that, we found another $2 million in discretionary dollars. So, Mr. Phillips, did you see those same funds in those areas, or was it moved around again? I guess that's a question that I have.
So thank you for the questions. Thank you for taking a look at the budget. You know, in my analysis of the budget, I want to speak to your question. The $7 million that I saw was in the reserves. So when you look at that 10.8% that's down there, right, the district has the 3% that's required by the state, which equates to 6 days of payroll, right? And then the additional $7 million would get it to the 10.8 that I illustrated on the slides. That 10.8 is very low when you look at comparative fund balances, not only with elementary districts across the state, but also looking at some of the neighbors. And recognizing that we are in the longest economic recovery that we've seen in the last 60 years, recognizing that the state has a very volatile revenue source because we do rely so heavily on our one percenters, right, the folks who are in the money on the stock market, that it's only a matter of time before the next recession comes. And it's that the 10.8% reserve, the $10 million in reserves, that's really going to allow us to make thoughtful decisions before we have to make any reductions. I was in a district during the last recession, it's not pretty. You know, nobody wants to have to make reductions. I'll say that students don't learn very well when they have a program one year and it's gone the next. And so having a reserve balance that allows us to make thoughtful decisions, where we can have input from our community members and pivot in a way that minimally impacts student performance, I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing.
Mr. Phillips, I'd just like to remind you to address the board.
I'm sorry. Board.
Any questions, yes. And I do want to apologize also to CSEA for that statement. You're right, you did not receive those one-time bonus monies. And I'd just like to say that in respect of that, because not all of our employees receive the off-the-schedule amounts, I asked the board not to give me that in my raise also. I felt it was really important for me to honor what was given to all employees, and since CSEA did not receive that, I didn't receive it either. So you're right, I need to requalify that statement. It was for CTA, it was SETC, and management did receive that, and so CSEA plus myself did not.
President Martinez, President Kim, happy birthday to you, and board members and administration. My name is Salinas Mendoza. My current site is Floral School. I represent CSEA Chapter 149 as first Vice President. I would also like to welcome my fellow SETC and CSEA brothers and sisters in the room. As first Vice President, I served on the negotiation team. Today, we have had 17 sessions with no resolution. And my 25 years of service with the district, I have many titles and many jobs and many bosses too. I've been a new duty food service attendant and currently a head custodian at Laurelwood. My duties include, believe it or not, cleaning poops and vomits. But my best title is when my children call me Grandma. The 1% you are offering us will pay for one tank of gas for 1 week in my car, and you know that the month has 4 weeks. Or I can take that 1% to cover my insurance increase. As you can see, the 1% does not go far. Tell me, board members, are we not only worth 1%? I'm sure that my Laurelwood grandkids would disagree. Thank you so much for your time.
Good evening, Superintendent Martinez, board. My name is Gisela Ortiz. I'm a parent coordinator at Gavilan School. I bring resources to parents so they can help their kids have a better life. I'm also a liaison between parents and teachers. A 1% to me means nothing. Groceries have gone up. A 1% will not cover my grocery bill. I would like an half of a raise to cover the increase of my groceries because I think we are worth it. Thank you.
Good evening, board members, superintendent, and all present in this meeting. My name is Martin Perez, and I'm the school committee coordinator for Los Padres, El Gavilan, Loma Vista, Boronda Meadows, Diaz Academy or Boronda Elementary, and Mission Park schools. My job is to recruit all the migrant students in this school and community. I've been doing this job for 24 years, and I enjoy serving migrant families in this community. Thanks, Salinas City, for giving me this job to support my family for many years. I consider Salinas City my third home. I have lived in Monroe County for about 36 years. With all due respect, the increase of 1% on my salary is about $46 per month. I see it as an insult since, according to a social worker, we live in the 10th most expensive city in the U.S. I have had an outside district job for about 7 years to have an extra income to support my family. I would like to ask for the necessary increase to survive in this expensive community. Our classified staff and I are worth it. Thank you.
Good evening, Board. Thank you in advance for allowing me to share. My name is Salinas, and I am a classified worker in our district. I have worked here so far 17 years. All of my children have attended this district and graduated from this district. My official jobs are meal clerk and custodian. I work 2 positions because I must in order to receive the health benefits that I so desperately need. My unofficial jobs are counselor, intervention, supervisor, protector, disciplinarian, first aid giver, mother, or aunt. I am whatever to whomever has a need. I wear many different job titles at my schools in order to provide the needs of our many students. Our teachers and our classified employees stand united as the 99%. But the 1% at the top seem to be the ones that are reaping the benefits, while the needs of the 99% are being disregarded. In the book of Proverbs 14:23, it says, all hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. A 1% increase in your pay would be a blessing. A 1% increase in mine is insulting. What we are requesting is for the district to validate the amazing work we all provide for our children. And we ask that you bring to the table a respectable and non-insulting offer of compensation. Whatever it takes, our children are worth it, and so are we. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Samantha Richmond, and I'm here today with my daughter, Citlali, who has left the room, of course. But I'm here today before you not only as a classified member, but as a mother. I have lived in Salinas all my life, and I have been with the district for over 10 years now. I have had many jobs throughout the years here. When I first started, I had to work 4 different jobs daily just to make 7.5 hours to 8 hours. That was me getting up and being at work at 8 o'clock in the morning and leaving at 6:15 in the evening. That's just a little over 10 hours that I was on a campus all day long, waiting for my jobs to start. I have worked hard to get where I am today with an 8-hour position as an administrative secretary. I am not only a secretary, but I wear many hats. I attend to the students who are not feeling well. I listen to them when they have problems, and I am one of the first persons they see when they come to school every day. As a mother, I want you to know what 1% means to me. I may be able to buy a box of diapers each month or a box of baby wipes, but that's pretty much it. I work paycheck to paycheck. Now, how am I supposed to provide for my child with the living cost here in Salinas rising? I am asking for a respectful offer that will allow me to provide for my daughter, because we are worth it.
Good evening, my name is Jacqueline Salinas, and I am a classified employee and a parent. I serve several purposes: a health aide supervisor, a counselor for students to come and talk to me about their problems. I ensure both our teachers and parents have all the resources and materials they need to be able to teach our children. Most of the employees live paycheck to paycheck and sometimes have to take second or third job just to put food on the table for their families. A 1% raise is a disrespect not only to myself but all my fellow classified employees. 1% does not relieve the stress of not knowing where any of our next meal will come from. It does not help me sleep better without having to worry about financial stability and if I will have a home the next week. I ask that you be just and fair and offer a raise that will allow for a decent living, because Salinas city employees are the heartbeat of the district and we are worth it.
Good evening. My name is Susie Friedrich, and I work for Food Service and Maintenance Departments. As a food service associate, my morning consists of prepping and serving 260 children for breakfast, arranging food for the week, prepping sandwiches and salads for lunch, and preparing sack lunches if needed. Then I begin my lunch duties, serving 600 plus students, completing production records, and ordering food. 3 days a week, we clean and bag fruit for Fruit Grant. That's my first position. My second is cleaning offices on Clark Street. I also have another cleaning job so I can support my family. I enjoy seeing the smile on a child's face when he or she picks up their meal, knowing that it might just be their only real meal of the day. We all play an important role in the school structure and need to be compensated fairly. We all, teachers and classified, need to feel appreciated so that the morale of each school is kept and our schools continue to function properly. Thank you for listening to our concerns. We are all worth it.
Good evening. I'm Becky Delamere. I'm a food service clerk at Laurelwood. I've worked for the district for a little over 18 years. I'm also the treasurer for CSEA Chapter 149. My everyday duties include bookkeeping, collections, supervising the students, listening to the students, and encouraging them. The best part of my job is all the hugs I get from the students. The 1% that has been offered is approximately 77 cents a day raise for me. $3.85 a week, $15.40 a month. The cost of living in Monterey County has and continues to go up at a faster rate than our pay. I know the district cannot afford to pay the teachers and classified staff what we are worth, but I do believe you can offer us more than 1% because we all deserve more. Thank you.
Good evening, board members. My name is Deb Garcia. I have been with the district since my daughter, Amaya, was 2 years old. I am a proud campus supervisor, office clerk, and night custodian. I provide many services to my students and my staff, working 3 different positions. And coming home at 8:30 at night is stressful enough. Not knowing if I will be able to provide the basics for my children makes things even harder. 1% needs to get all my hard work and stress are not valued by the district. I want a raise that will allow me to provide for my children and shows me that classified members are valued because we are worth it.
Hi, my name is Pauline Arias, and I live in Salinas. I've been here my whole life, as my mom's family before us for thousands of years. Okay, and that's the truth. I'm also a Tribal Councilman for the Ohlone Costanoan Esselen Nation. So, we'll come down and bring the spirits with us. Anyhow, I work for the Transportation Department. I've been in the district on the payroll for 36 years. and 5 or 6 years before that as a volunteer in the classroom. And basically what I'm going to give you is a day in the life of myself. I drive special needs, and the other drivers that are in here. Okay. Give me a second. My alarm goes off at 4 a.m. every morning, and I'm out the door by 5:45 because I know my job. I arrive at transportation and I'm ready to start checking out my bus by 6:30 a.m. and picking up my babies by 7 a.m. because I know my job. My students are between the ages of 3 and 10, and each one is different from the next in regards to temperament and disabilities, and they are all little characters. I am the first one they see in the morning, and I greet each one by name as they get on my bus for their ride to one of the 3 schools I transport in the morning, because I know my job. I observe each one on the trip to let the teacher know what to expect from the students today. Are they crying or sleepy or whiny? Are they real active or happy and content? And I'm talking about the students, not the teachers. Know what kind of day they can expect, because I know my job. When the students get off my bus, I tell them all I will see them later and to have a good day. I was lucky today. No bloody noses, no one vomiting, no crayons spilled on the floor, and no lost shoes and socks. But that's my job, because I love my babies. By the way, that 1% that was offered tells me one thing. We deserve better because we're worth it, and you don't know anything about my job. Thank you.
My name is Rosie Sanchez. I am the Chapter Public Relations Officer of CSEA Chapter 149 and a member of this chapter for the past 42 years. Even though I retired 3 years ago, I have remained a dedicated member and officer of this chapter. You have heard some of our classified members that have provided many years of service to students and families of this district. You have even heard that the district's offer of 1% in a month won't even buy a box of diapers. You see, for some classified, they are living from paycheck to paycheck. Some even have a second job outside of the district in order to survive the cost of living in this area. Did you know that some classified employees work up to 4 different positions in this district in order to survive? Did you know that many classified employees work less than 6 hours in a day? Sadly to say, and it is a fact, there are classified employees that are homeless yet manage to continue coming to work in this district. After 17 negotiation sessions, we became concerned with the offer of 1%. Recently, we submitted the past and current budgets that are on the district's website to our CSEA office to have them analyzed. Your district officials wanted to meet with us to answer any questions we might have regarding the budget. You see, the district wants to be transparent. When we asked why $5 million was transferred into the retirement section of the budget, the district's response was that it was the school board's discretionary money to spend. 1% for classified equals approximately $143,000. If you have a $5 million pie, how thin do you think that slice of pie would be for $143,000? Classified are only asking for a decent offer. Tonight, you will read a resolution honoring classified employees of this district, and I'm happy you are taking a moment to appreciate the work that classified employees do. Bus drivers, taking students safely to school, custodians making sure the schools are clean, food service preparing meals, office staff enrolling new students, health aides taking care of ill students, librarians making sure there's plenty of books, and honestly the list goes on and on. If you really want to do something for classified employees of this district, listen to their needs and make them a decent and respectful offer. I want to also thank the different CSEA brothers and sisters that are here from various districts: LSL, MCOA, North Monterey County, King City, Monterey Peninsula, Washington Union, Gonzales, Soledad, Springfield, Santa Rita, and Salinas High School. You see, we are all family. Board members, our message to you from all of us is we are worth it.
Carol Rodriguez, special education teacher at Long Meadows. I'm here in support of our fellow union members from CSEA, and I appreciate and happy that we're working together to strengthen our district, because we are the strength of the district. We are the backbone. We are pretty much most of the district. I'd like to respond to a few things that were said during the March 12th meeting. There was mention of the past lawsuit, which was mentioned again tonight. The district listened solely to their own attorney at that time. A couple of you were on the board at that time. Your attorney was giving you bad advice. No board members reached out to me, or as I was president at the time, to understand at all from our side what we were saying, at least to give some balance to what you knew. But instead, that was how it was handled. So it was a problem. We tried to get it fixed sooner. It would have cost much less. But you cannot keep putting that out on it as if it was somehow our fault. We don't make those decisions. We tried to get people to make a quicker decision, to listen, but they would not do it. It was implied last month that teachers have stalled negotiations, and we think that's far from the truth. The district team has come to the table unprepared at times. The district team has come unwilling to compromise and comes back time after time with the same proposals with no changes. That's not compromise, that's not cooperation, that's not what should be happening. That's what negotiations are supposed to be, give and take. The superintendent commented that she hadn't called the 5 added working days a raise. That may be true, but when our negotiations team said the same thing at the table, they were told that the district didn't see things the same as we did. Superintendent mentioned getting 5 days, which included flexibility. We were not offered flexibility except for the 6 online hours, which would still have needed to be done during the month of June. I mean, we're still trying to close our classrooms. You that have been teachers, you know how it is to try to fit in that, and we're beginning our vacations and our kids are out of school. It's difficult. We were not offered one day at the beginning of the year. That wasn't said. And a survey was done 2 years ago. I did the survey, which showed that teachers were not adverse to adding more days to the calendar, but we were adverse to the days being placed at the end of the year. We did not want them then. We do not want them now. It's clear. And we also were adverse to having no say as to when the days would be placed on the calendar. And the idea that there's no more money, I know we just had that whole presentation, but back in the fall, one of the district personnel said there was extra money, but it was at the discretion of the board. Well, what that means is you have to decide what's important to you and where you're going to spend the money. Oops, sorry. So a year ago, there was a large amount of money spent on Edivate for us to have online professional development. Nobody I know has even seen or done anything with Edivate, and that's almost been exactly a year since you guys voted that in, and the administrators had to have it right then. So we know that probably now that we've just had that presentation, we know probably now there isn't that money. But we were negotiating a year ago. There was a bigger pot of money. It's been spent on other things at your discretion, at the discretion and the advice of everyone. So we want you to think about this. We had 200 teachers here at the last board meeting. There are many CSEA members here tonight. We feel it is incumbent on the district to listen to their people. We ask that you do. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Juan Martinez. I am from Gonzales, California. Former trustee at Gonzales at the Hartnell Community College. Served there for 12 years and been involved as a trustee, so I know some of you guys' challenges, especially when it comes to the budget challenge and distribution of your budgets. We had the unfortunate situation where we had a strike, the first one in 35 years for community college. It was not pretty. We had a situation there where the staff was very unhappy. That went on for years before that was settled. Roberta, you would remember some of that. Mr. Kim, happy birthday. And you also were around at that time. And sure enough, Miss Ish and your family's been here for a long, long time as well, so you all know what I'm talking about. You all have this history. First of all, let's support that, right? So as a fellow, and Mr. Hoffman, I don't know you, but okay. Yeah, a lot of people are upset at you guys, I tell you that. And I've been to different schools throughout the county, and guess what? This is happening everywhere. And there's good reason for it, lack of money. And people are getting organized, thanks to the political atmosphere in our community. So it's going to just build up more and more. Your report card on you guys and your superintendent is due November. So heads up, it's coming up, right? So get ready for that. I.e., you guys, if you want your money, you got to earn it. And you work hard enough, so November, right? So we all know that. I'm saying this for the voters out here. They're going to see that on YouTube. Thanks to Wes and Dre over here. They've been doing this throughout the county, educating our community about our needs and various issues. I'm here to ask you to place an item on the agenda pertaining to the Monterey Bay Community Power, which is a nonprofit organization that was started by interested people in saving our environment and creating cash flow for our stressed out communities. What we've done, we've created a nonprofit that takes the place of the PG&E shareholders in 3 counties. To have done that, we got all the cities voting in on it, except for 2. Delray Oaks was at a population of just over 2,000, and they decided it was too small to take the risk, since nothing has happened here in this area such as that. And King City, because they voted no on Z, and you don't even in the county, by the way, to do that. They voted no on Z, and they voted stay out of this thing as well. So, given the situation, they have a lot of people out of the oil industry there in South County, so I can see that point. All right. So what's going to happen here is, starting the beginning of, and look at Post Weekly, guys. Post Weekly, it's in the Post Weekly magazine. I ask you all to take a close look at your if you got your cell phone on or pen, do this. Look at YouTube and put the initials MBCP. That's MBCP for Monterey Bay Community Power, and then put the word potluck. You'll see where we're going to start to bring in $25 to $30 million every year without raising taxes, because it's our money already, except that's the amount of money that's been going out to shareholders. Now it's staying in one bank account. And guess what? Most of you don't know about that.
Mr. Martinez, if you'd like to put that on the agenda.
That's what I'm asking you to do. Thank you very much. And now you'll hear more about it when this gets placed on the agenda. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Hello, my name is Cesar Verma. I was hired at Roosevelt School. It's been 28 years I've been working. When I became head custodian, Laurie Sanders hired me. And what I did at that school, my first 2 months, I did 1,000 projects. 10 years ago, it's right here in proof, I did 1,000 projects in 2 months for her. I presented that to her when I got hired, so thank you. And I've been working very hard at a district. I also got to tell you, I have done 24 years of perfect attendance, 24 years out of 28. I'm a hard worker. I also plan to do another 1,000 projects, not in 2 months, but in 2 weeks for our school at University Park School. And I will show proof to that to Aaron this month. It will be 1,000 projects that we'll be doing for the school. I'm a hard worker, we'll work. I know a lot of people. We've been around for the district for many years. 20 years is a lot, but we want support from you guys, and God bless you.
Hi, I'm Geraldine Budenholzer, teacher at University Park School. I'm here to ask a question and make a comment, but I want to say first that I support our classified staff 100%. I could not do my job. I am here to ask about summer school. At University Park, we have now been scheduled for summer school for the 3rd summer in a row. In the past, summer school went from school to school every year. And the reason this is important is cleaning. It's very hard for the custodial staff to deep clean a school when it's being used for summer school. So for instance, last year, my classroom was clean, the carpet was clean before summer school. And when I arrived with my 1 week to prep my classroom, which Amy, you'll know, I usually show up August 1st, well now July, but I wasn't able to. So I had my 1 week, and thankfully, my classified, our custodians, re-cleaned my carpet, because of course it got dirty in summer school. But you can't do the deep cleaning and the projects. Past practice has been that summer school rotated every year, different schools. We have 14 schools now, so you should only have to have summer school every 3 or 4 years, and we're in our 3rd year in a row. Last year we had it when we were getting a new principal. It's very complicated, but I'm asking you if you're aware of the rotation, and if that has gone out the window, and why we're having it 3 years in a row. And I'm also requesting, if it's not too late, that it be moved this year away from University Park School. And I know you can't answer that tonight, but thank you.
Oscar Ramos, teacher and SATC president. I just wanted to say that I'm somewhat speechless, touched, and humbled to hear all these amazing stories of how hard the CSEA works. And I'm here to tell you guys that SATC stands with you in your endeavor to reach an agreement to a fair and just contract. And if money is the issue, it appears to be, then we need to start looking at how to better spend that money, how to prioritize the spending. And we don't want this situation, you don't want this situation, we don't want it to escalate. So we're hoping for a resolution soon, and that this never happens again in the future with better budgeting. Thank you.